twice. I'ma go for it. This moment, we are ready. I'm not gonna be played with me, cause it can get dangerous. These people are.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Bird Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Bird Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Bird is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Bird Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joe Gordon out the world's famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see it.
First dates, fun with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands. Because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pasta, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro. See you there.
Hello, welcome to Day edition of the Just Sports Show. Yes, you see Brent and I here as Valentine's Day is soon to be over. We are here and our wives are back at home. Now, I know we're going to get into that in just a minute, but before we get started, as always, I've got to introduce our producer, Miss Honeybee, which is right through the window. My name is Les Martin.
And I'm Brent Allen.
We certainly appreciate taking your time out of your busy schedule or taking time away from your Valentine's date to join us. We'll have Coach Honeycutt on in about 10 minutes. And if you want to call in, we've only got one line working, and the line that is working is 423-562-3557. Let me say this again. The only line that we have that's working is 423-562-3557. And I cannot believe I've sat here all this time, since about 6:30, and now we have a fly in here.
A fly?
Yeah, did you see that fly?
No, I missed it.
Oh my gosh.
It's not fly season. What's a fly doing out about this time?
It's looking for a warm place. Either that, it's got a coat on.
Could be.
Yeah. But anyway, it is Valentine's Day. Coach Honeycutt of the Campbell County Lady Cougars will be calling in. Before he calls in, we're going to talk about the basketball game real quick. The Campbell County boys last night, they played Central. Earlier in the season, they beat Central 67-60. Last night, they lost 51-49. It was a nail biter all the way through. We had quite a few turnovers, probably unlikely, not very good for us. Also, Elijah Phillips got into foul trouble early, so he had to sit most of the third quarter, if my memory serves me correct. Came back in the fourth, and when he came back into the fourth or the late third quarter, he got another quick one as well. So the aggressiveness on defense for Elijah Phillips had to go away. Now, as far as the... here we go. Dave Collin, you're on the Just Sports Show.
Hello.
How are you?
Not doing too good.
Not doing too good. That is not well with me.
I'm with my brother now, and my name was Matthew too.
Do what?
I work with my brother now, and my name was
Nephew?
my name was.
Neighbors and nephew?
Wow. So are they giving you grief?
Well, no, my brother was in the house.
Oh,
He's
okay.
not doing too good.
I'm sorry to hear that. And your nephew?
And my name was Matthew in the house. He don't fit you. He don't like sport.
On life support.
Wow.
That's not good.
That is not good. I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, it. I don't know what I'm going to do.
You can. There's only one thing you can do, and that's pray.
And that thing is like that.
You what now?
I said, just like that last night.
That's what you did last night.
Guess what I done last night?
What
What
did you do last night?
I had a dream that my brother-in-law died.
Well, Miss Kay, you about to get me down in the dumps here. And we're supposed to be the one to cheer you up. Maybe the reason why you had that dream was because maybe it was just on your mind, and maybe he's not going to, and he's probably going to pull out of this thing, whatever it is, and maybe he's going to be just fine. Maybe if you think like that, then maybe tonight you'll go and go to sleep and you'll have that dream.
Also,
Me too. Me too. Especially next Wednesday when we're back on here, I hope that you can call in and give us better news.
Yeah.
yeah, I will. Let's continue. So this last week, this was 30. He was home, but he went back to the hospital. He had a small heart attack. He in an ICU.
Oh wow. What hospital is he at?
I think he's in Nova.
Sonova?
Genova?
Nova in Harwood, Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
They said some kind of a test, and he gets full some kind of whatever that is. I don't know how that
EKG?
No, he put some, he's having surgery on, I think he had. I don't know, he did, my sister told me he had some kind of test.
Yeah. Okay.
And put some kind of test in his heart. And he doesn't takes pity on call any.
Yeah, it's probably a stent.
Yeah, it's been to me.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to get off here and wait on Coach Honeycutt to call in, okay?
And I want your photos to have a Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
you too.
Day.
And I hope you have a better day tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Who's your favorite team now? Let's cheer up. Who's your favorite team?
Go to just pray for him.
Okay.
My name was Nancy, my brother now.
Okay, will do.
Thanks, Fred.
You're welcome, honey.
Me too.
Well, who's your favorite team?
Go Cougars.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bless her heart. She got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yep. Yep,
Well,
that's true.
She's a trooper, though. She's a trooper.
She does.
Yeah. Anyway, the Campbell County Cougars lost in the first round of the district tournaments last night in Halls, and that's a tough loss. I mean, you know, and you've got people, and I've got to say this, and we may go back to it after Coach Honeycutt, but just give you something to gnaw on or to think about. We've got certain people that would come up to me and make comments like they like Matt Housley as a person, but they feel like that their program needs to go a different direction. These folks have to remember one thing. Coach Housley had never coached high school basketball. He coached middle school basketball before he got this job here at Campbell County High School. It is a tough district to play in, to coach in. So with that being said, I mean, does that give him a couple more years to kind of put something together? I don't know the answer to that. Does he want a couple more years, or is he looking to step away and coach somewhere else, middle school or something? I don't know that. Nobody knows that answers to that except Coach Housley.
I agree. And what do people want? I mean, do they want a different style of play, like a different kind, running a different kind of offense? I mean, what is it that they want? Basketball's not that. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know that much about it, but it's, you know, if you've got a coach that can get the boys to play and play hard and play with passion, I mean, I don't know how important it is, like what kind of offense. I mean, is that what we're getting at? Is that what you're saying? People are saying maybe.
Well, back in the day, and I'm just going to be honest with you, back in the day, one of the most feared high school programs in basketball in East Tennessee was Campbell County High School.
Oh, I know. I remember that.
And they had some good coaches, and they had some.
Well,
good
what was the
teams.
difference? What were the teams doing differently I mean, did they just shoot better? Because that's not the coach's fault. I mean, what was different?
Well, you had more kids that would come out and play, which you don't have that now at the high school, I don't believe. From the way I understand it, the tryout numbers were down significantly. So, and I don't know the answer of the reason why that is or anything like that. But the bottom line is, I think he's done a good job. I think he's kept the kids kept the kids upbeat, kept them competing all this time that he's coached there. So, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly glad I'm not the one that's going to make that decision. So, but we'll find out next year. I'll have a conversation with Coach Housley here in a couple of days and off the record, and I won't share the results of that, but I'll have a talk with Coach Housley off the record and just find out exactly what he's looking to do, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, they've been pretty successful. It's not like it's a bad program. I mean, things just aren't.
When you have a program that's been really good for so many years, and then for the last 7, we haven't made it to a region game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we haven't made it to the regions, to the best of my knowledge, in the 7 years that he's been here. Now, if somebody knows better and I'm wrong, please feel free to call in at 423-562-3557 and tell me. But at the same time, we've had some kids play one year, and then the following year, those kids didn't play, didn't try out, or something. They just weren't on the team, and then therefore it's almost like every year, with the exceptions of the last couple of years, with those exceptions, has had kids to play, like Elijah Phillips has played multiple years. Stretch Bailey has played multiple years. Evan Jackson, John Porter. That's about the only ones that you see that's played multiple years over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, we had some other kids that's played, 3 or 4 that's played multiple years, the year prior and the year prior. But normally when you have if you can get you a bigger class coming in,
right?
And he hasn't gotten that. He hasn't gotten the high numbers. And if he has, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think this past season there was only about 5 or 6 kids that made the team for freshmen.
I'll tell you one of the things, and I know where he should be calling any minute, and I'll stop when he does. But I think there's an issue. I think parents have a lot to do with this, and the reason I say that is I hear things from kids. We've got teenage boys. We hear what they hear. We hear them repeating what they've heard about this or that. And I'm not even talking about the basketball program at this point. I'm just saying these kids talk. Parents talk. They don't like the way things go. They don't like how a coach does something, and it trickles down to their kids, and their kids tell their buddies. And I don't know how many kids showed up for the middle school baseball program, but that's a good example. I mean, they've had different coaches every year, or kind of a coach here, kind of a coach there. I can tell you from my kid's perspective, he wants a coach who knows what he's doing, who can teach him the proper way to do things. Otherwise, he ain't gonna play. It's just that simple. And I think that kids listen to that sort of thing, and too much down talking, or a lot of the parents, speaking of basketball, a lot of the parents lived through those years of Campbell County being I wouldn't say dominant, but extremely respected basketball program. And so now, who knows what they're saying? Well, back when I was a kid, we did this, we did that. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah, and it may be. It may be.
I'd like to find out how many showed up for the baseball tryouts, because
yeah, I would too, to be honest with you. Let's talk about Jellicoe real quick. Jellicoe, by way of David Smith, he has a daughter that plays for Jellicoe, the Lady Blue Devils. They're in the district tournament. They won 35-34 over Hancock County. They advanced to the semifinals against top seed Cosby on Friday, or I don't know if it's Friday or tomorrow, but I do know that Coach Honeycutt's having phone trouble right now, so let me give you some information here real quick from the La Follette Press, our boy Robbie, if I can find it. And anyway, Jellicoe's also going to the regionals as well. So congratulations to the Lady Blue Devils from Jellicoe. They play top seed Cosby tomorrow, I believe, or Friday. I'll find out for sure. And they will also be going to the regionals. So that being said, Coach Honeycutt and his Lady Cougars, they're going to be traveling to Halls Friday night at 6 o'clock. I believe it's 6 o'clock they play. The winner of the Halls and Clinton game. Now, they beat Halls, they beat Clinton both times. They've only lost one game in the district, and that was against Oak Ridge here at home, the last home game that they had. Clinton beat Carnes to get to the second round by a score of 72-23 because Carnes is really no good. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Well,
I know they've got a coach that's trying his best, but the bottom line is if you don't have the talent, you can only do so much.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Campbell County will play the winner of the Hodge Clinton game. The championship will be Saturday evening at 6 o'clock at Halls High School. Now, Oak Ridge is the second seed, Campbell County is the first seed. And the reason why Campbell County got the first seed was they had a drawing. They didn't flip a coin. It wasn't overall records like I initially thought it was because Oak Ridge has a better overall record. It's strictly district wins and losses, and Oak Ridge and Campbell County both finished with 13-1. Now, with that being said, Oak Ridge had the better overall record, so they put some numbers, I'm assuming, in a hat or something. I don't know exactly how they did the drawing, but it was a drawing, and Campbell County pulled out the number one seed in the district tournament, which is a good thing because they have the lower seeds that they have to deal with. And of course, with Oak Ridge being the second seed, they've got a little bit higher seeds they got to deal with, their brackets. Now, for Campbell County and Oak Ridge to meet in the district championship Saturday, and I really hope Oak Ridge gets beat before them, but I don't see that happening because Oak Ridge is like Campbell County, they're very good. But I think I'm going to travel Saturday over to Halls and see if I can't watch this Oak Ridge Campbell County game. If everything plays out, Campbell County continues and wins, Oak Ridge continues and wins. They've only got one game before the championship game because they got to bye, a 2-round bye. Then I may go watch that Saturday night. I'm not for sure yet.
What time's that game?
I think it's at 6 o'clock. It is at 6 o'clock on Saturday. So, if that's the case, I really hope Campbell County can win this basketball game in the district. They are already penciled in to go to the regionals. So is Oak Ridge. Now, some of the other teams that could go to the regional is Clinton, is Powell or Anderson County because Anderson County beat Central by a score of 60-46, and they will play Powell tomorrow night. AC, Anderson County, and Powell will play tomorrow night at Halls, and the winner of that game will play Oak Ridge on Friday night. So, Campbell County plays on Friday night, Oak Ridge plays on Friday night, but they play two separate teams, and the winners of those two games will meet in a championship game on Saturday, and the consolation game will be played, which will be the other two. Let's see if this is Coach Honeycutt. Coach Honeycutt, you got everything worked out, buddy?
I do not.
You do not.
I'm calling to my wife.
Well, I tell you what, I won't keep you, and I really appreciate you calling on Valentine's Day. I really forgot it was Valentine's Day, until after my wife mentioned it to me when I got home. But
That's not good.
yeah, I know. Anyway, you're going Friday night to play the winner of, if I'm not mistaken, Halls and Clinton. Is that correct?
Just found out it was Clinton. They won by 12.
Oh, so Clinton won tonight. So the games was tonight instead of tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. So you're going to play Clinton, which you beat Clinton, but this is district tournament. You don't rest on your laurels on what you did in the past. You kind of work off what you need to do in the future. Is that right?
Absolutely. And, we found that out the hard way last year. Can't rest on what you did in the past. We finished on, beat Powell last year by about 15 points both games, that 10 to 15, and then we lost them in the district tournament. And it's the same thing with Anderson County. We beat them pretty bad the two times we played them previously last year, lost to them. So I hope that we learn from that and come in a little more focused than we did a year ago. Because, like you said, the district tournament, it's a new season. Everybody's 0-0, and I'll promise you, Clinton's going to come in confident they can win that game.
Oh, I'm assured. I promise you they will, just like you feel the same thing. But I'm looking for a Campbell County Oak Ridge rematch, just to be perfectly honest with you. I don't see anybody, and I don't want to jinx you here, Coach, but I don't see anybody beating you. Not the team that you have now, because you have no seniors, and you have a lot of experience. Madison Brady. Not to mention, you've got Skylar Boshears, the other young ladies that play as well, and their name slips my mind right now. But the bottom line is, you've got what it takes to win. So when you get to the championship game on Friday night against or Saturday night against Oak Ridge, I'm hoping that you can put your smackdown on Oak Ridge again.
Well, that will be the goal, and of course, we've got to hopefully get another shot at Oak Ridge. Unless something goes wrong, I think Oak Ridge will beat Powell in the bottom part of the bracket, and be a great challenge for us. And that was our goal last year, was to play Oak Ridge in the finals, but we didn't make it. So hopefully, we'll refocus and come out a little more, mentally tough, and really against Clinton, you're going to have to be physically tough, because I truly believe Clinton, and even though Clinton isn't quite as talented as Oak Ridge, I think Clinton and Oak Ridge are the two most physical teams in our district this year. Clinton's a completely different team than they were, and Coach Phillips, Alicia Phillips, has done an unbelievable job down there. I don't think anybody in the whole region has turned around a team like she has Clinton. I think tonight may have been Clinton's 20th win. And last year, I don't even know if they won 10 games. So it's phenomenal what she's done. So we're going to have to be definitely ready to roll, and hopefully, if we can get a win over Clinton, we'll be rewarded with the rematch with Oak Ridge.
Well, when you played Oak Ridge at home, it seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because my memory is not what it used to be, Coach, but it seemed like that you all fed Madison Brady quite a bit. I think she had 20-plus points. I don't know how many rebounds she had against Oak Ridge when you played at Oak Ridge. But then when you played Oak Ridge here at home, to me, it didn't seem like that she was getting the ball enough like she did the first time. And I don't know the situation with that. Was it something that Oak Ridge did to take that away from the Cougars, or do you know?
Yeah, what I think Oak Ridge did, to be honest with you, when we were playing them there, and we've got to get the ball to Madison, and that's where we want. We want to force teams to have to double down on her, and then our guards can go to work on people, and that's kind of how we're built, how we want to be built. That's workforce all year long, and down there, what Oak Ridge was doing, they weren't getting very much pressure at all on our guards in the half court, so we were just able to stand up there with the ball and wait on the right just split second when Madison would pop over and get her the ball, or pop open and get her the ball. We were doing it all night long, and we thought when they came here, we still thought we could get Madison the ball even with a double team. But what the difference was, we can still get Madison the ball if you double team. But what the difference was is they were putting a whole lot more pressure on their guards up here, which hurried our guards up, and that way they were having to focus on, oh my goodness, I don't want to turn the ball over this possession, not let's get the ball to Madison. So that was the biggest difference, was the pressure in the half court on the ball handlers, on our guards on the perimeter. We just weren't able to focus enough to get the ball to Madison. We weren't being creative enough to get the ball to her, whether it be off the dribble or create fast angles. And, really down there, we were just able to throw the ball at will. And they did a good job of, getting better pressure on our guards up here, and they took that away, and that's what they were going to have to do in order to beat us, and they did it.
Well, Coach, I feel like that you have the upper hand going into this third and final game against Oak Ridge if everything pans out okay, and which I believe it will. But I think you're going to have the upper hand because you've seen what you did to them the first game, but now you've seen what Oak Ridge did by putting pressure on the guards the second game. And the losing team always seems to make the most adjustments to get a different result on the very next game that you played the same team.
Yes.
So
You're exactly right.
So I think you have the upper hand. Now, whether it be setting screens or pick and rolls or something like that, I don't know. But I don't think any one individual from Oak Ridge hurt you. I know Dowdell is a pretty good player. And I don't know, me speaking of old terms, like a long time ago, they used to run a box and one a lot on a lot of players that was pretty strong. And I don't know if they do a lot of that these days or not, do they?
Yeah, they do some, and tonight Clinton actually ran that on ball and was pretty effective with it, but on their best play. They do, and we've ran some of that. We've ran Baltimore triangle too on Oak Ridge in the past. We haven't done it this year, but we did it last year some. And, we definitely, that's definitely on the table, doing something like that. Just anything to throw their rhythm off a little bit. And really, what's point-wise, who's been killing us for them is Jada Gwen, their guard. She's had 28 and 23 against us, I think. So maybe 29 and 23. She's played really well, and she's getting a lot of division, small level, and even some larger level Division I looks right now. She's a good player. But yeah, we're considering that. We're considering a little bit of everything right now. But Boxing One, we've played that in the past on certain kids. It's been effective for us. So it's definitely on the table. Again, anything we got to do to get a win against them. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility and a good idea as well. But I agree with your point. Coming into the second game, obviously what we did down there worked. So we knew they would make some adjustments. And we were pretty dead on with the adjustments we thought they would make. And then we worked on it. We knew it'd just be higher ball pressure in the full court and in the half court. And we still didn't handle it very well. We turned the ball over as much in the first quarter as we did the entire game at Oak Ridge. So we just threw it all over the court. But I think we'll learn from that and hopefully play better if we get another opportunity against them.
Yeah, I believe you will as well, Coach. I really do. And I know that the game is Saturday, and of course you got to go down Friday. What time is your game Friday, Coach? Is it 6 on Friday night?
It's actually at 5:30 Friday.
Okay. 5:30 Friday night at Halls High School. You'll be playing Clinton, which beat Halls tonight. So that's going to be Friday night. So my son's got a ball game where I would be there. I can tell you that.
Oh, well, I understand that.
But, Coach, I won't keep you. I really appreciate you calling in, and thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy, Coach. And also, I want to say to everybody that's listening, Coach Honeycutt is also the Coach of the Year, so congratulations on that fine award as well, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a program award. My goodness. I know I've said it on here plenty of times, but I've just got some extremely good players right now, and I'm in the right place at the right time for talent. We've just got some kids that are some of the more talented kids that ever come through Campbell County High School, and I just happen to be here with them at the right time. And we've got, some really good assistant coaches, Bo Vince and Cody Houck. They're just, they're my right-hand men, and they help me out a lot. I lean on them tremendously, but that's a team award. I can honestly say I wouldn't even be considered for that award if I didn't have good players.
Yeah.
But winning a lot of games. So, but I appreciate that a bunch, and we're just proud of our kids. Our kids have worked so hard this year, and they're coming together, and they're just being coachable, and I just couldn't be happier with this group. It's a group of just quality young ladies, and I'm honored to coach them.
Well, this is your second Coach of the Year award, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. You know what that tells me?
Doing something right.
You're doing something right because you've had a couple of different teams with a couple of different talent, and I know your team is very young because you have no seniors. So look out next year in the district, and you are already penciled in for the regionals this year. Is that right?
Yes, sir. By earning one of the 2 seeds, you get automatic region status in our district. So yeah, that's exciting too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got hopefully several more weeks of basketball left.
Well, I certainly hope so, Coach. And I thank you for calling in. Tell your wife I'm so sorry I forgot it was Valentine's Day. And I hope you have a wonderful one, Coach. And thank you so much for calling.
I sure will. Y'all have a great night.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye. Coach Honeycutt of the Lady Cougars, he's always a good interview, full of knowledge. And you know what? I understand. I buy that whole situation. I buy the whole situation that it's just talent and it's just girls and it's just assistant coaches. I get all that. But if you don't have that certain, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but if you don't have that certain awe about you to bring winning people around you and create that winning spirit among the team, I think that the coach probably wouldn't have got Coach of the Year.
I agree. You can have the best. You can have the best athletes in the country, and if they don't play together properly, they don't play together well. The coach doesn't have them working in unison and doing the things they're supposed to as a team. They're not going to win.
I agree, 100%. Folks, it's at the bottom of the hour. Of course, as always, we've got to take a break. You're watching Just Sports.
WLAF Sports Network.
Listen up, Cougar fans, wherever you are. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette next to Big Creek is the place to go for all things Cougar. T-shirts, caps, jackets, and much more. If it's Cougars, it's at Birch Screen Printing. 423-562-3044. Need T-shirts or caps or polos for your business, special event, or church function? Birch is the business to call. Lettering, screen printing, and especially for all things Cougar. Birch Screen Printing in the heart of La Follette.
Just look for the parking lot full of cars. Yep, that's Charlie's Pizza.
Hey, this is Joe Gordon out the world famous Charlie's Pizza. Come down and see it.
First dates, fun with friends, celebrations, a break from work, whatever your excuse for stopping by Charlie's Pizza, everyone understands because we all love Charlie's for pizza, pasta, sandwiches, salads, and lots more. What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza specialty? What's your favorite Charlie's Pizza memory? It's the worst kept secret around. It's Charlie's Pizza in Jacksboro.
Welcome back to the Just Sports Show. My name is Les Martin, and the co-host or slash host, the second host or some kind of host, as always, is Mr. Brent Allen. I certainly appreciate everything that he does for me as far as on the show and doing the football games for Campbell County High School. And of course, Friday night, for some reason I'm thinking today is Thursday, and it's Wednesday.
I wish it was Thursday. And you do too, apparently, but it's just Wednesday.
Yeah, Friday night at 5:30 at Halls High School. If you can't go, tune in on www.1450wlaf.com. And I think that the game will also be televised on Channel 12. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it may be televised on Channel 12. If not, you'll definitely see it on 1450wlaf.com. Josh Parker, Noah Smith, Aaron Hopkins has all the action for you coming from Halls High School. They've done a phenomenal job. And to tell you something, Noah Smith has, if you watch it all, Noah Smith has got the clock on the screen as well, and it's in unison, it's in time with the clock on the wall
real time
at the gym, real time, and it tells you how much time you got left in each quarter, and it is pretty amazing. Noah Smith has done a great job producing the football games, the basketball games, and just about anything else Noah Smith wants to do. He's very good at what he does, folks. So
I agree.
Make sure you tune in at 5:30 Friday night at Halls High School. If you can't make it, go on to 1450wlaf.com and watch the girls play in a semifinal game, and then watch the final game, hopefully Campbell County will be there Saturday night at 6 o'clock at Halls High School playing the winner of the lower seeded brackets. So,
But if not, they still move on. Is that what I understood?
yes, if they lose against Clinton, Campbell County will still move to the regionals because the top 2 seeds in the district go automatically.
That's important to know.
Yes.
Because it could be pretty disappointing if something goes wrong, but they still get to go.
Clinton has got 2 wins. They beat Karn 72-23. They beat Hollis tonight. I don't know the score, but I think if Campbell County boys would have won 2 games in the district, they would have went to the regionals. I'm thinking. So I'm thinking the same goes for the girls. If Clinton wins 2 games, which they already have, they will go to the regionals. So with that being said, I'm hoping that they don't ruin it for Campbell County Lady Cougars, and I hope the Lady Cougars can actually come out and put a whooping on them, and then come out and play extremely good basketball against Oak Ridge.
And put a whooping on them, too.
And put a whooping on them as well. Saturday.
Don't be bashful with the whoopings. Go ahead and let them whoop both of them.
Folks, if anybody would like to call in, you can call in at 423-562-3557. That's 423-562-3557. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Vols recruiting, and it's, I know it's not high school sports right now for the local kids. I don't want to apologize, but I'm going to say that we've got very little going on. We don't know a whole lot about the baseball tryouts today, but we'll get some information for you by next Wednesday. Also, Vols recruiting. Have you heard about Grant Gunnell? He's a 6'6", 205-pound quarterback out of Houston, Texas, I believe. He is a 4th-ranked quarterback in the 2019 class. He used to be committed to Texas A&M, and then when Jimbo Fisher went there, he backed out, and he is uncommitted. He's undecided, and Tennessee has offered him.
I've not heard of that one.
Also, the recruiting class for Tennessee in 2018 was the 20th ranked class in the country. Now, considering at one time we was in the 40s when Butch Jones left and we lost all these recruits, I think there's only a handful of recruits that Butch Jones was recruiting that actually committed to the University of Tennessee and signed.
Well, the more important thing to me is, it had gotten down to the 40s, but it could have been a lot worse. I mean, you couldn't blame a kid for leaving during that mess, that debacle, of coaching, not having a coach, and just all the messes. We had so many things going on that we were in the national news for all the wrong reasons, and to end up 20th is really impressive. Well, now they were, right. They had some guys they thought on the hook. Sure. And I think that was some deception going on, to be honest. I think those young men were playing them more than anything.
I think they wanted a free ride to come and check out the university. Yep,
I do too. And I don't think that they really had the intentions. They may have been a little bit intrigued, they may have seen the facilities and so forth and thought, wow, this is pretty impressive. But when it came down to signing day, it was just heartbreak after heartbreak. I mean, guys that everybody said, all the national media was saying were leaning towards Tennessee, went elsewhere. And then, of course, the kid that took the hat off and all of that. It just, it was a tough day, but the bottom line is number 20 in the country. That's not bad. I mean, out of all, 132?
Yeah, 130 something Division I schools.
That's not bad, especially under the circumstances.
I agree, since Alabama was only ranked 7th. Mm-hmm. And of course, Georgia was number 1, of course.
Yeah, they had the highest ranked recruiting class of all time this year.
Right. And now, with that being said, Tennessee being 20th, that was Butch Jones's recruiting class rank his first year.
Mm-hmm. I think 5th was the next year, or number 5 in the country next year.
Yeah.
According to Coach Pruitt, he expects to be right there in the top 5 next year.
Now, here's what I don't understand. Robert Gillespie. I kind of have mixed emotions, mixed feelings about this whole situation, because I think Robert Gillespie was an absolutely fantastic coach. Very good recruiter, of course. But first thing I had to ask myself when I seen Robert Gillespie being, and he did not leave on his own. He was asked to leave he was released by Coach Pruitt. And it happened after the recruiting was over. To me, first thing I thought of was that was pretty dirty of Jeremy Pruitt. But at the same time, another part of me is, I really don't know why he kept him from a holdover from Butch Jones's coaching staff to begin with, because everybody else on his coaching staff right now have 3-year contracts. Robert Gillespie's contract would have ended this time next year, and he didn't get an extension when everybody else got a 3-year contract. So he knew something was up. So therefore, they went ahead and Pruitt went ahead and cut him gone, and they had a conversation. And according to Philip Fulmer, Robert Gillespie didn't like it, but he understood that it needed to be done.
Well, all I can say is I really, these kind of things that concern me, and I hope that Coach Pruitt can gain back my trust, and when I say mine, I'm talking about collectively our trust as ball fans. Because I don't care what anybody says, Robert Gillespie was an asset to that team. He was a great recruiter. The running backs, man, my goodness, look at the production of the running backs. Now, obviously, we didn't use the certain running backs that we should have as much. But as far as what the actual running backs could do, they were very talented. They seemed to be well coached. I really hope he's got something planned. I heard something about Chris Winkie coming on. He can't be a running backs coach. I mean, I haven't heard anything about an actual running backs coach coming on. I mean, I guess a coach can coach anything. If you give them the material, tell them what you want. I guess that's the case. But have you heard about the Winkie possibility?
I've heard about Chris Winkie, Montario Hardesty, also Burton Burns. Let's see here, I don't know the other guy's name. I'll have to tell you here in just a second. But Chris Winkie, just to let everybody know, folks, running backs coach is the easiest position to coach on the field, according to other coaches and things like that. Simply because of the fact is, you only have to teach them technique, how to hang on to the football. You're not going to tell them how to run because they've already got that down pat.
Yeah.
You're not going to go in there and start messing up.
Yeah, with their stride and things like that.
Exactly. But to let you know, here are some of the candidates. Jay Graham is a candidate. And I don't think that would be too bad.
I agree.
Jay Graham was a good running backs coach. I mean, a good running back in his time. Chris Winkie, which was a Heisman Trophy winner, I think, for Florida State, was a quarterback. Now, I think being a quarterback in college and knowing what your running backs have to do, I think that might not be a bad idea to be a running back coach. Right now, he's been the offensive analyst.
Off-field analyst.
Yes. Excuse me.
So I guess he's up in the booth watching and picking out problems or whatever, fixing things.
Right, for Alabama.
Right.
Now, you got Des Kitchens. I don't know exactly where he's from. He's floated around with Pruitt, still in searching for a wide receivers coach earlier in the offseason.
I can tell you he's got a really good shot because he's bald. I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems like every coach Tennessee has is bald. I mean, I don't know what's up with that.
Right, exactly. Here's the guy I want. I want Burton Burns, and I'm going to tell you the reason why.
Okay.
He's been an Alabama running backs coach since 2007.
Is he currently their running backs coach? No way we get him.
But you're probably right. But here's the deal. If there's anybody out there that I'm going to throw some money at...
you ain't kidding now. Them Alabama running backs have been impressive the entire time.
For many years.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Jeremy Pruitt has one of the highest paid staff in the country. Philip Fulmer and the University of Tennessee gave him $4 million to go after his staff. Now,
you won't be able to afford that guy then, because he's already spent up most of it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Robert Gillespie was making $515,000 a year. That's pretty good for a running backs coach.
He is, but he's so much more as a recruiter. I mean, he'll somebody will snatch him up in a heartbeat
Oh, yeah.
and pay him more probably.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Also, another gentleman for running backs coach is Brian Applewhite, which I don't know a whole lot about Brian Applewhite except for the fact he knows Terry Farrell really good because he coached Colorado State just like Terry Farrell did. And if anything, Terry Farrell may be out there saying, hey, if you can't get anybody else, just Brian Applewhite's going to be a promoted coach.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Also, the last but certainly not least is Montario Hardesty. He was another good running back, number 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, number 2 running back for Tennessee. I thought he was very good when he played in the NFL for a short time.
But what has he done since, from a coaching standpoint? I mean, I don't know if being a good running back makes you a good running back coach.
Well, that's true. I agree. It doesn't say exactly what he's doing, but he did play. He holds the Vols record for the single season of career rushing yards, touchdowns, and carries. He is also a support role as a quality control coach this all season. I don't know exactly who for. It doesn't say. It's Tennessee.
Oh.
It says Hardesty is already here, so he would only require a promotion within. He's familiar with the Tennessee football and knows that what it takes to be very successful running back in the SEC. Cons, Hardesty has no experience at running backs coach and doesn't have any Power 5 coaching experience. It's highly unlikely he gets the nod right now.
I would agree with that. I mean, I say keep him on staff. Whatever he's doing now is fine, but you know, I don't know that it always transfers. You know, I mean, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're good at teaching it. I mean, I think in the middle school, Brent Lester obviously was a great running back, and he's done a great job. He understands how to send that information to a kid for them to understand and make them better. That doesn't mean though that everybody that was a good running back can do that. I wasn't a good running back, but the thing is that I'm not a good teacher. You know, I get very frustrated if they don't get it right off the bat. If they don't understand what I'm trying to say, I get frustrated. I just don't want to do it anymore. You know, and I know that's childish, and you know, think of me what you will, but I understand that. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't.
Right.
That's why I don't coach. You know, I tried coaching with you in baseball, and I'd have to go to the foul pole and stand over there to keep from cussing or, you know, or saying something I shouldn't or getting in trouble. I mean, I'm not very good at it.
Well, here's the thing, and you hit the nail right on the head. Not everybody is a good teacher.
Yeah, that's the key.
I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, if you're a talented running back and you can teach, the recruiting will come later, because when you put a running back on the field and you are the running back's coach, let's face it, Butch Jones did not always choose the right running back to put in the formation because he used Jalen Hurd more than he did Alvin Kamara. And if he would have just reversed those roles, I think Tennessee's season, and Butch Jones still may be here today. But
that's a good point.
Getting back to running backs coach, if you are a running backs coach of a university, just like Alabama, Barton Burns, very good at what he does. Alabama running backs has been great for so long. People will come there because of the coach that coaches running backs.
Oh yeah, the ones that send them to the NFL.
Absolutely. And the other kids will look at that's out there, that's a blue chipper or a 4-star or a 5-star running back or even a 3-star. They'll say, you know what, I want to go to Alabama because of Nick Saban, but because my coach's role being running back, I know he's going to better prepare me for tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, you've got people wanting to come to the university and play. Mm-hmm. I think with Coach Pruitt and the staff that he's got together, I think it's just going to be a matter of time to where people will commit to Tennessee. They'll commit early, they'll stick to the commitment, and they'll come in and they'll play and they'll see the results, just like the running backs did with Robert Gillespie.
I agree. I think that the pro style offense that he wants to go to, and he's trying to recruit bigger, stronger linemen, which only helps a running game, you know, helps the running backs. Then suddenly it becomes more attractive to a to a top running back. You know, in the past we've kind of looked more, with the exception of Jalen Hurd, size-wise, we've looked at more smaller guys that are more quick, that can do the, you know, they can catch a pass out of the backfield, or can or return punts, you know, or whatever. I mean, they're very versatile guys that can do a lot of things. I think in the future we'll be looking at guys built more like Jalen Hurd, you know, 6'2", 230 or something like that, and power, you know, some powerful running backs, or maybe not 6'2", you know what I'm saying, 5'10", 220, whatever. That's still going to be a very powerful back, unlike our 185-pound backs that we've had. Although look at the success of Alvin Kamara. I mean, he's around 200 pounds. Yeah, he's done a great job, and that helps out Tennessee too. Believe it or not, you know, people will look at that. I mean, these kids will look to the pros and say, well, where did that guy play? You know, where did he play college football? Oh, Tennessee. You know, and it all matters to them, unfortunately.
Right, exactly. I'm trying to find out how big Jeremy Banks is. Jeremy Banks is supposed to be a big running back. Also, he's supposed to be physical as well.
Yeah, I looked him up, and I don't want to. I can't remember exactly. He's not like Jalen Hurd big, but he definitely runs with power. I watched some of his huddle film, and he's definitely more power than what we've seen in the recent years. It reminds me kind of Jamal Lewis, and I don't think he's that big either, but.
Well,
you know, he's
6'2", 215 pounds.
Yeah, 215. That's what got me.
Yeah.
Now, if they put on 20 pounds of muscle, yeah, you're looking at a freight train.
I wouldn't want to tackle him. I wouldn't want to tackle him now at 215, him being 6'2". Yeah. But like you said, by the time the nutritionist gets a hold of him and the trainer gets a hold of him, look out. He could blow up to 240.
Oh yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And still 6'2", 240.
Especially by his senior year, he could easily be 240. You know.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
He's taller than I was thinking, but I do remember. I knew there was something, and the 6'2", 215 is pretty much a receiver size. You know, these days, I mean, it's not uncommon to see something like that. But if he runs slow and has good center of gravity and has a lot of leg power, he should be a tough candidate.
I agree 100%. I can't wait to see him roll over some folks, just to be honest with you. All right. Vols basketball. We've got a few more things to cover. We got about 8 minutes, I guess. 9 minutes. But that's okay. If we don't get to everything today, we can pick up where we left off next Wednesday.
That's right.
That's okay. But the basketball Vols is ranked 18th in the country. They were picked to finish 13th in the SEC.
Yeah.
They are in second place. They're a game and a half behind Auburn, actually 2 games in the SEC conference. Overall, they're a game and a half behind because Auburn's record is 22-3, Tennessee's is 19-6. But they're 9-4 in the SEC, that being Tennessee. Auburn is 10-2, and they're probably 5 games left, I believe. There's 5 games.
There's not many.
No, there's not.
It's gone by fast this year.
Yes, it sure has.
I heard on the radio there's only 2 Lady Vols home games left in the season, which is amazing to me.
Yep. Yes, they have 5 games left. They play Georgia twice. Georgia is 13-11. They play Florida. Florida is 8-4 in the SEC and 17-8 overall. They play Mississippi. Mississippi is 17-8 overall, 6-5 I think in the SEC. Oh no! I'm sorry. Mississippi is like 3-12 or 3-8 in the SEC, and like I don't know. 10.
Not too good.
Not too good in the SEC. Then they play Mississippi State, which Mississippi State is 17-8 overall, and about 6-5 or something like that. 6-6 in the.
Most of them are pretty close there. That seems like a tough schedule. Tough last 5 games.
Well, I've heard from a lot of different media outlets and sources say that they feel like the Southeastern Conference overall, top to bottom, is the best basketball conference today.
Wow.
Now, that didn't used to be like that.
No.
I mean, of course, you don't have Kentucky. Kentucky's not ranked in the top 25. Of course, you only have 3 teams out of the Southeastern Conference that's ranked. And that's number 10, Auburn, number 18, Tennessee, number 21, Texas A&M. Of course, Texas A&M just lost to Missouri, so I look for Texas A&M possibly to fall out of the top 25. But if you look at the Southeastern Conference records, I'm going to go from top to bottom real quick. Auburn 22-3, Tennessee 19-6, Florida 17-8, Missouri 18-8, Alabama 17-9, Arkansas 18-8, Kentucky 17-8, Mississippi State 18-7, Texas A&M 17-9. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams.
17 win teams.
That has a winning percentage of 54 or better.
That is impressive.
So, with that being said, Tennessee's played those teams. Tennessee's probably got one of the toughest basketball schedules in the nation.
Which helps their
RPI.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. So, Tennessee will play Georgia, I do believe.
Got somebody Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's Georgia. They play Georgia Saturday. I'll tell you here in a brief minute. Yes, they play Georgia Saturday at 6 o'clock. Then they play Florida on, is it Tuesday or Wednesday at 9 p.m. And Florida's going to be a tough game for Tennessee. Then they're playing in Knoxville. So that's the good thing. And then the next two is
It's a late game.
Yes, it is.
Be tough. It's going to be not a very good crowd, most likely. It's the middle of the week, 9 o'clock.
We got
tip-off.
to have some folks out there.
I agree. I mean, I'd be tempted to go just to help out.
Yeah, I agree. I guess, did you get tickets to go to the Georgia game this Saturday?
I think so.
I did too. So we'll get to watch that game live in person. That's awesome. We'll rock the house. And act like an absolute 100 certifiable nut.
And that's okay. That's what it's all about.
Supposed to do.
That's right.
Anyway, Vols basketball rolling, which is good. They had a 6-game winning streak. Alabama in that streak.
Big spanking.
Yeah, 78-50 or something like that. We weren't even in the same arena. And of course, Grant Williams says that's exactly what Tennessee basketball needed, was to be brought down a notch so they can really realize where they needed to be and how they needed to play.
And then they turned around and squeaked by South Carolina. So
South Carolina went to the Final Four last year. It's last
year, though.
I know.
I'm just kidding. I didn't even know that.
It's only the part that South Carolina has had an up and down season that's not been real good. South Carolina overall is 4-9 in the Southeastern Conference and 13-13 overall. So, with that being said, they just had an off year. They're still a good team.
I'm sure they've got good players, no doubt.
Yes. I don't know if you heard, but I'm going to try to go through these pretty quick. The International Olympic Committee tried to, or discussed to, have the Statue of Liberties removed from the 2 backup players' goalies' face mask. One was on the cheek of the mask, one was on the chin of the mask. Both of these girls, one was Alex Rigsby, and I don't know who, Henley, I think, is the other lady. Neither one of them play, and the starting goalie does not have a Statue of Liberty on her mask. But the IOC has finally said they're going to allow the Statue of Liberty to stay on the goalie's mask. And the reason why they was contemplating taking it off was because they was not supposed to have any type of political views, political opinions, or political pictures or anything like that. Which I don't understand how the Statue of Liberty is anything.
It's not. It's not. It's no different than having the colors red, white, and blue. It's our flag. You know.
Right.
I mean, that's the colors we used, and that's nothing patriotic. I mean, if you had a picture of Donald Trump, I mean, or something, or I can see that being a political issue. But no, I definitely disagree. And I think the other goalie, I think you said, one had the Statue of Liberty, the other one was a flag. It was
Yes.
I mean, I saw the picture of it. It was an American flag that was painted on there. Beautiful helmets, but no, I didn't see anything political about any of it. I mean, it'd be no different than I mean, if a team was represented, if a team from Knoxville had a picture of the Sun Sphere, it has nothing to do with politics. It just shows part of where you're from. That's all the Statue of Liberty would be to me.
I agree. I agree 100%, but I'm glad they're going to allow him to stay on. Also, we know John Kelly and we know Khalil McKenzie will be going within the top 190 picks, which is in the top 7 rounds. They probably won't go in the first and second round, but they're going to go within the first 7 rounds, or the only 7 rounds of the NFL draft. Now, here's something very, very intriguing. Rashawn Golden. He's leaving early to go to the draft. He could have came back and played next year, but he chose to leave early. One of the draft analysts has said that Rashawn Golding will start getting to see some accolades and start seeing some rankings as far as where he's at, because he believes he's in the top 50 players, overall prospects that's coming out for the NFL draft. That's pretty impressive.
I agree with that, and I'll tell you why. I mean, his physical attributes are what's going to set him apart. And that's part of the issue with the combine. It really doesn't matter how many tackles you had or how many breakups or interceptions or whatever. I mean, obviously those things come into play, but when they have those NFL combines, they're simply measuring your height, your vertical, your 40, your shuttle time, all those things. And he's going to do really well. He's an excellent athlete, and he had some injuries, I believe. I know he did. I know he had a couple of injuries at Tennessee, and I don't know if maybe it was the type of defense we were running, or I don't know what the situation was. He got burned a few times, but everybody does. I think that he'll do really well at the combine, and he's going to put up some pretty good numbers.
I agree. I think I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to tell you he's probably going to go in the first round.
Ooh.
I really believe that. And you know what? Let's face it.
I mean, I hope so. That'd be great.
Carson Wentz, when he came out, when he left, he stayed until his senior season was over. And when he came into the NFL draft, nobody was talking about Carson Wentz until he went through the combine. Then he came out and was number 2 overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. And look what he's done with the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's what the combine's all about, is to let the scouts, the NFL scouts, see exactly what they've got. I mean, that's like Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara, I think he went in the 5th round last year. He was a steal.
Absolutely. No, I think anybody would agree with that.
And now he's got one thing looking forward to, and that's a big contract that he's going to sign when his runs out.
Absolutely.
As long as he stays healthy, I think he'll be fine.
I agree. Healthy and out of trouble.
Yes. Also, this Sunday, 2:30 p.m. on Fox. How about the Daytona 500? Racing's back, folks. Of course, tomorrow night on FS1, you can watch the Can-Am duels. They start at 7 o'clock on FS1. I'm looking forward to that. Also, I'll be back and forth between the racing, and I'll have the Campbell County Cougars. Of course, they don't play tomorrow. They play Friday, as I'm thinking again. Today's Thursday. But anyway, the Can-Am duels will come on Thursday at 7 o'clock, which is tomorrow on FS1. Daytona 500 is Sunday at 2:30 on Fox. With that being said, it's been a fun hour, and I really appreciate y'all taking time out of your busy schedule. Ladies, thank you for allowing your husbands to watch the show, and if you didn't, men, you need to step up to the plate. And with that being said, for Miss Honeybee, my name is Les Martin.
I'm Brent Allen. God bless, and go Cougars.
WLF Sports Network.
Wherever you are, we're extremely